Welcome back to yet another episode of the Comics Run the World podcast. As always, I'm co-host Mateo, and like in every other episode, I'm accompanied by...
Frankie, and we've got our first ever returning guest.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, Payton. How's it going?
It's going good. I didn't know that like I had that honor of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome.
The first returning guest, and for a really exciting reason.
Yep.
I know Allstar is coming out very soon. I'm not sure on the exact date. I've got it
Oh
pre-ordered.
no, it's out. It's out now.
Oh, it's out.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
out.
So it's in the mail. So if you like, obviously you've got it pre-ordered and everything. Josh is with Comic Book Direct is doing all the shipping and packaging and everything like that. I did help him while I was down there this last weekend and signed all the pre-order books and stuff. There's a lot, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot so I can't guarantee which day it'll come out on, you know what I mean? Like that you'll get it, but it is in the process of getting mailed out, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for, you to get it and everything and to read the story and to hear what you think,
Definitely. You were in Tampa signing stuff, and I was gonna come, but I work at a golf course, so weekends are kind of like my weekdays.
For sure, yeah.
But I really wanted to come. How did that go?
It went good, man. We did the like TikTok shop stuff as well while we were like doing the in-person signing. So I mean, we probably did like 25 orders a day, something like that during the signings or whatever, and then plus the people, obviously the foot traffic, and I mean we like I said, I got to sign some books for some people, get to meet some people. Just sitting in a comic shop and signing my own comic book was the most ridiculous thing in the world to me. So that was really, like I said, it's just a surreal thing, but felt very lucky to do it, so very excited.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I remember my comic shop. I would always go to their signings whenever I had like I met Tom King, I think like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And...
Yeah, no, I'm no Tom King. I don't pull
No,
it
yeah,
all.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's what I told both the owners. I was like, sorry guys that there's not like people, just rushing in here to meet me, and then but they were both obviously super cool about it and everything, and they were just like glad to give me the venue. But dude, that's sick. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and they also had Scott Snyder there too one time. I was like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. So I couldn't imagine just like sitting there with like a big line of people, or just like anyone in general, just like signing like away your work to them, like fans of your work. So that must be like a surreal experience for me, because that's what I was thinking. I was like imagine if like me making like, whether it's a comic book or just a regular book in general, he's signing your name, the fan's name, whatever.
Cool.
That's got to be like a euphoric experience.
Oh, dude, it is for sure, man. There was I had one follower come down there that he was actually on vacation with his family, like in the area, and like had his dad drive him up and everything to the shop, but like he wanted a picture with me and everything, and like yeah, dude, that just it makes no sense in my head, you know what I mean? That people would want a picture and want something autographed by me or whatever, but so yeah, no, dude, it is. It's an insane feeling for sure.
What's because when we talked to you, like you were still in the process of getting it out there. What's it been like now that like it's actually coming out? I'm sure that's been both hectic and like really awesome and nerve-wracking.
Yes, dude. It's all of those things. So it's very like you said, it's hectic. I flew down to Tampa because obviously where Josh is handling the shipping, I'm nowhere near the books. So I went down, had to sign everything that I'd promised to sign. So I was like, signing hundreds and of these things. Had those like signings in person to do for 2 days. We also, while we were in Tampa, there was a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert right after one of my one of the signings, and I was just like, well, holy shit. I was like, how do you not go to that? So yeah, that added to the chaos of the weekend and everything. But so I'm there doing the signings, concert, and then fly right back home on Sunday morning, and then yeah, it's just been trying to figure out how to promote it, you know what I mean, how to get it in front of people. Obviously, like I said, just now that we're having people read it and kind of getting their feedback and stuff, dude, so mostly positive. Mac was actually the first person, I think, for anybody listening, NerdSpace03 on TikTok, but I love Mac. But he was like the first person not involved with the book to actually like sit down, read it cover to cover, and like give me a rating on it and everything. So he was like super, super receptive of it. I actually got to like hear him laugh out loud a couple of times in the first 4 or 5 pages, which is good. That's when I had the jokes. I don't think he was laughing about, just something being audibly bad. But no, I mean, he like I said, he enjoyed it, and then he said he got chills a couple times, which is like, hey, if you're writing something, it's kind of what you're hoping to make people feel something,
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was cool getting to see a couple people read it there in the store and get their response and everything. But yeah, and also like you said, the nerves. It's like, yeah, now I'm actually going to see what people think. I mean, I've been talking about this story for like 7 months. And that's the thing too. I wrote this thing like 8 months ago, and we've been in production this whole time. And yeah, now it's time to see if it's worth anything, and if it's gonna build a story off of it, and if I'm going to be able to get this first arc out and get it done and everything, and and just see how far if that it can take me.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it. Did you sign all the pre-orders?
Everything that was pre-ordered, yes. So like besides like the Kickstarter, there was like options on Kickstarter for just a book without a signature. But yeah, if you like pre-ordered through Comic Book Direct or anything like that, I went ahead and signed everything. Because like it was one of those deals. I couldn't remember if I had told people I would do that or not. So I was like, might as well just go ahead and do it.
Just do it,
so,
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so
Awesome.
there's going to be a limited batch of people that just get the signature. For having pre-ordered, and that's the part that sucks now. Is like while I am trying to sell it, like I can't sign them for the time being.
Yeah.
Which is probably normal for most writers, but
Right.
in independent stuff, it's a little different.
All right.
What kind of feedback have you heard? Like both positive and negative? I don't know. I mean, like what have you heard so far from
Dude,
anybody?
I mean, it's been good, dude. I mean, I've not really had any like the only like negative feedback from anybody is just that it's like it's not super, it doesn't like subvert the genre. I think it's not super unique. It is like just a classic superhero story, which is like what I was going for. I wasn't trying to do much subversion, you know what I mean? The only thing that I think was like subverting the genre a little bit is just the fact that I have a superhero whose like parents aren't dead and who isn't dead broke and like whose life didn't start out immediately bad. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna like the subversion comes from the fact that after getting the superpowers is when he actually finds out what it means to be a person and have real problems. You know what I mean? Like so that's the only thing I've really heard. And like I mean the pacing's good, I think, from everybody. Like I said, people have enjoyed it so far. And the one thing that I will say, like story, like depending on how people feel about that, that's the part obviously that I want to hear the critiques on. But dude, I don't know how anyone could look at the interiors of this book and like not love it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to kind of show some of it on here. But I mean, that's the one thing I will say. This art team on the book, like I had several people in the shop be like, hey, like you could set this beside Marvel or DC books in a comic shop and like nobody would notice. You know what I mean? Like you can like, which I mean the artist also worked at Marvel, so like that makes sense that turned out that way. But
yeah, look at that panel, like
yeah,
he's like ripping the goop.
Yeah.
Makes like the panel.
That's
super
cool.
Yeah, super creative like storytelling, and Julian was like a master of visual storytelling, and like I mean that's the thing with the script, you can't dictate stuff like that, stuff that he does, and you can even like obviously the order you're supposed to follow panels in a comic or whatever. You can even see like how in this moment where he's like Allstar's like ripping his arm away from like getting absorbed into the assimilator or whatever, like how like it drives like the action down to here where he finally rips it off and you can see this little bit of torn flesh or whatever. But that's just, dude, incredible storytelling from a visual standpoint that like I could have obviously never achieved with just words on paper. And another part that I'll show that for people watching is gutter space in books a lot is white, like in between your panels or whatever. But we have a moment where Allstar has to go underground, and you can see like the gutter space shifts to black to kind of give the reader the experience of being underground with Allstar. So again, that's something that cool. that I would have never thought to dictate into, like, I mean, that's just how much the artist goes into the visual experience of the book.
Yeah, that's really cool. That looks
awesome.
That looks really. I had no idea what the art looked like, so I'm even more excited now. That looks great.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, I'm glad, guys. Like I said, it's very proud of the art. Very expensive to make for sure, but I mean, I think it's the old adage, you get what you pay for. So
yeah,
awesome, cool. Well, we're very excited to check it out soon. So that's gonna be Definitely gotta do something with the TikTok on that, at least for me. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. Ooh, do a little
Please
like
do.
review on the
Yes.
comics on the.
Oh
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
absolutely.
Dude, please do. That's something like anyone that does reviews, obviously I want to like post all of their stuff, you know what I mean? Like put it on my account, like get it up for everyone to see and all that. So please, yeah, dude, I would be very honored if you'd review the book and everything. It'd mean a lot to me, so.
Dude, I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea. I should I'll do that. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but I will say I didn't even really think about that. Like I'm sure that's got to be also nerve-wracking. I mean, I'm sure you trusted him with the art, but like you're making your own story, but you don't get to do like half of it. You know what I mean? I didn't even really think of that. That's got to be. I'm sure you had a lot of trust in him. Obviously, a great artist, but
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, dude, just speaking to that a little bit, this gave me way more appreciation for how much comic books are like a cohesive thing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because I've always been really guilty about. It's like, oh, like Tom King's Mr. Miracle or whatever. Like, I don't say Tom King and Mitch Gerard's like Mr. Miracle. You know what I mean? But you can look at Tom King's script for that book, and like, you know, 3 of the panels are just like one person screaming, then panel 2, second person screaming, panel 3, third person screaming. You know what I mean? Like, and that's there's really no direction there. You know, I mean, and like, so that's how much like the artist can take the script and run with it. And from talking to a couple people in the industry and stuff, it's like some artists want a whole lot, right? They want a whole lot of like, you know, how do you want to set the shot up? Like, how do you want, you know, this person to look? What do you want the lighting in the panel to be or whatever? And then some artists want to be like, hey, dude, leave it as loose as possible and let me have fun with it. And you know what I mean? Like, while still following the story, they can decide if they want to do a worm's eye view or, you know, a bird's eye view or whatever they think is best for like, and even as a writer, there's times where like, I'll tell Julian like, hey, like this shot is like at an up angle, like because from a storytelling perspective, I want this panel to make this whoever is in this panel to look, you know, more intimidating. So like seeing them at an up angle, you know what I mean, like helps add to that, which Julian already probably knows. You know what I mean, like, but yeah. So there's just times where you have to know when to like stick to your guns and be like, hey, no, that panel looked like this for a reason and you can't change it. And then there's been times where he shifted stuff around and I was like, dude, that looks way better than what I thought. So like, yeah, hell yeah, thanks for doing that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it did. It gave me a whole new light of how much, you know, with comic book storytelling is just like the artist is way more involved than just getting handed a script and then doing exactly what the writer thought was going to happen, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm asking all the questions. I apologize, but I'm just curious.
No.
What do you have future plans? Or are you just kind of taking it more day by day, or do you've got a lot planned, just a little here and there? Or
for all, like as far as like continuing All-Star or whatever, yeah. So the Astounding All-Star was supposed to be 5 issues, you know. So obviously this is just issue 1, and optimistically, like yeah, like I'm gonna be like, hey, all 5 are gonna come out. This clearly depends on how much we do, you know, as far as like that's the part that sucks about all the journey with everything is like it's dependent on how well it sells and how much money it makes and stuff. And it's like as a storyteller, and I think as a creative person or anybody that wants to create something, I think can sympathize with this. I would just give the story to people. You know what I mean? Like if I could. But like we have to have money to make the books. Like I said, it's a very expensive endeavor to have them made at this kind of quality. But yeah, no, we're definitely shooting for 5 issues, and then like if by the time the 5th issue comes out, you know, I have an idea for a second arc. I'm not outlining it yet because like there's no sense in outlining it if I don't think we're gonna get there. But yeah, no, 5 issues for sure. Ongoing if possible. You know what I mean? Like, but I like to be a little ambitious in thinking that we could do that, and then like a part of me wants to stay realistic and be like, hey man, just get what you can get and get the story out to people. You know what I mean? Like however you can. So.
True.
Yeah.
Do you think
go ahead,
when you complete the 5 issues, you could do like a trade paperback edition of it? Because I know it's different with the producing of a single issue rather than like a trade paperback or hardcover. But has that ever like crossed your mind by doing just a complete collection of it?
Yeah, dude, I 100% would love to do a trade.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like obviously it's kind of like to that same sentiment that I was saying is like if we get there, you know what I mean? Like we get all 5 issues out for sure. I want to do a trade. The funny thing about that is like I don't know when, and this is a part of me just not being like a part of like a company or like, you know what I mean, like really like a big publisher or anything is something that I've recently learned is like when you do, so what happens like when you start selling the trade, it kills the sales on the single issues. You'll no longer sell single issues. And that's why like it takes so long for completed collections or compendiums or omnibuses or any of that to come out, because once those comes out, it completely sells all or kills all of the sales of your trade paperbacks. Yeah. So that's like something that I think I saw Kyle Higgins with Radiant Black talk about. He was like, we will never do a collected edition or a hardcover or whatever until I'm done with the story, because like then all of the trades will quit selling. And
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, dude, I definitely want to do a trade. That would be the coolest thing in the fucking world to me. You know what I mean? Like to have a trade of it. But and that's also like how it's intended to be told, is like that is like all one story together, you know?
Yeah, that's why Mateo and I we usually don't pick up single issues because we just trade
I appreciate
later.
You all, make an exception for me, but I get
special occasions.
Yeah, I get that, and honestly, man, and that's even something I've thought about is like, because like obviously I have this story that I want to tell and a cool character and a cool universe, and I think that that alone, like you would be like, oh, I'd hope that'd be enough, but rarely I think it ever is, and it's so like you're always like trying to think of like how could I kind of change things, revolutionize things. And that's something that I'd even considered as being like, because I know how many people would rather read in a trade. I was just like, God, like, can I just get the money to get it all collected and out at once? You know what I mean? But then you're talking about like, I did a Kickstarter for $7,500 and then used all of that money, and I've spent money out of my, quite a fair amount of money out of my own pocket for one issue. So you're talking about doing a Kickstarter for $100,000 probably to make a trade. Yeah. And that's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I think it was a good thought to like just kind of subvert a little bit and be like, hey, just release it all at once. But I just practically, for somebody my my size, I just couldn't do it unless like some angel investor wants to hop in from hearing this and you know what I mean, make it reality. But I'm gonna keep my expectations tempered there.
But I feel like as a comic fan, it's probably pretty cool to like have an actual just single issue coming out. Like, I prefer like trades reading wise, but like, I don't know, if I was making a comic, it'd be cool to like hold in that issue number 1. Like that's got to be
insane. Yeah. I mean, like legit, like picking this up and like holding it was like stupid to me. You know what I mean? I was just like, how did that, like, I mean, legit here, I've got this is a timesheet for my like 9-to-5 job before I started doing like content creation. You know what I mean? Like you can see it's just like a paper we used at work. And this is from like 2 years ago. So this is a scribble I did of Allstar and like some character notes and stuff about them from like 2 years ago. And to go from that to this is bananas to me. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It is, man. It is for sure. And like you said, getting to hold that single, and plus like people that collect, things are worth more in single issues, for whatever reason and all that stuff. Not saying like All-Star's ever going to be like, a hot collective, collector's item. I would hope, that would be awesome. But I also never thought I'd have a comic book. So, maybe I should stop, like just being like a Debbie Downer on myself. But
no, it's impossible not to look forward.
That's true.
This is a broad question. Do you have any like crazy stories from just creating the comic, whether it's like a recent one of like at the comic book store or like even if it's from way back when you first started? Any noteworthy?
God, that's a really, really good question. I'm trying to think of something that would be crazy enough to talk about on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, there's definitely stuff. I mean, I would say just the craziest part for me is just kind of learning some stuff about how the big two industries work. You know what I mean? Like behind the scenes, just because, just by nature of being close with Julian, the artist, and we me and him have had to talk to each other a lot, and just seeing the difference in kind of how things are handled and managed at a large scale. And then also like just seeing how long it takes to make one of these issues. And then how like, to put in perspective how those companies are putting them out on a month-to-month basis, but I don't have like a crazy story as far as like the craziest thing for me personally was just being like obviously Julian that I'm working with, was like actively working on All-Star and at the same time is working on a script for Dan Slott from Marvel. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
okay,
that like didn't compute in my brain. You know what I mean? I was just like, he's like, I'm doing this short story for Dan. It was like a backup for Spider-Boy or whatever. And I was like, all right, so like this guy's working for me and Dan Slott right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it just, so that, I don't think that's necessarily crazy unless you're a huge comic book nerd, but that was
that's
nuts
cool
for
though.
me, Yeah, it was for sure.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's just got to be like, I don't know. I can't even imagine like hearing that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited to read it myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Any other stuff you want to talk about from Allstar?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily, man. I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, obviously, I'll talk about it all day. As many questions as you all have, but there's things that, like, I think from a writer standpoint that I find super interesting, and then like a lot of the questions I end up getting are just like, well, how strong is he? Like, what could he punch?
Power scaling him.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh shit, I don't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I never sat down and like, I've not power scaled this character or gave him points or anything like that. Or, so I know things he can do by nature of just, I created him and, I know where his limits are and, how durable he is. I mean, you can see like in the comic, he rips a car in two and like uses it essentially as boxing gloves, at one point. And then, he gets hit by an RPG and gets back up, stuff like that. And, so that's what when people ask that, I'm just like, I give them examples and, instead of being like, oh, well, he scales to whatever, but, to me, it's always about the story. And that's the part that I think I've got to maybe try and figure out a little more is like what readers want to hear as opposed to like, they don't want to hear my like technical reasoning for writing something, I don't think, but, yeah, so that's been the part that I think I maybe could do better as like a promoter of it or whatever. So,
yeah. I mean, Mateo and I know we feel the same way about it. Like we aren't into the power scaling type thing. Not
it's such a big slippery slope because like for example, Superman, it's like super inconsistent because
by nature of just what he can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he could I know this is like I'm pretty sure I know this is pre-crisis, but like he can sneeze a galaxy away, but then like in another issue he gets rocked by Batman or whatever.
Right.
And it's like it's very inconsistent, and whenever people like power scale, they always like either just like gloss over like an inconsistency or just like it just gets really toxic sometimes. Because,
for sure. Yeah, no, it's super toxic. Yeah. Well, I mean, it boils down to like my dad could beat up your dad. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. Like, I mean, so, but yeah, no, I'm like you. It's like, I was talking about, I think Failsafe, like the Chip Zdarsky Failsafe arc. And like, there's a moment where like Superman's like flying in to like stop Failsafe and then Failsafe like pops like kryptonite out of his back and stabs Superman in the chest with it or whatever. And people are just like, well, Superman can react to light speed and like he should be able to like stop himself and get out of the way. And I'm just like, okay, like, and you'll never tell a story with that character. You know what I mean? Like you can never do it if you're going to, apply these things. It's like Superman rises to what's needed. And Tom King, actually, speaking of Tom King, you talked about him earlier. He does a really, really cool story with that in Up in the Sky where Superman beats the Flash in the race, right? And it's like, if you asked me as a fan, like, who's faster? Well, it's the Flash, because the Flash's, like, purpose in universe is to be the fastest man. You know what I mean? Like, so 99% of the time, yes, your answer is the Flash. But in that story, in this one story, the story needed Superman to be faster. You know what I mean? Like, Superman also in universe needed to be faster for, to save this girl or to raise money for charity is what it was. But, and people are just like, they do that whole little like quippy thing from the Flash. It's like, oh, those were for charity, Clark.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not. That's not what's happening in that story. It's like Superman the whole story is setting up the fact that Superman is like a walking, talking contradiction. Like a man shouldn't fly, but Superman does. You know what I mean? Like a man shouldn't be bulletproof, but Superman is. And like, nobody should be faster than the Flash, but when he needs to be, Superman is. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, that's good story structure. It's good storytelling, but it's like power scalers, like it breaks their brain that happens. And it's like, they can't recognize that it's like which it's also not their job, I guess. You know what I mean? To know that like, that a story structure is there or anything like that. I was actually talking to, Jim Shooter at, Lexington Comic-Con not long ago. He's a really cool guy. Obviously, for those that don't know, he wrote for Marvel for years. He was Marvel's editor-in-chief for years. But he was on the Avengers for a long time. And I was talking to him about Janet and Hank's marriage. And, if for anybody who may not know, Hank Pym, smacks Janet, famously became a wife beater. And he's never been able to escape that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Hank's character dies after that, essentially. And not in actual sense of the story, but popularity. Like, no one ever uses Hank again, he's been cursed from that moment. That actually was never supposed to happen in that way. It was supposed to be a complete accident. Jim writes the script and he's like, oh, Hank throws his hands up in exasperation and then accidentally strikes Janet. It's a whole different thing. And the artist can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, this artist was really young and there's tight deadlines. And because he couldn't make that work on page, the hands going up in the air, Hank just turns around and backhands her. So super dynamic, strong backhand, and like I said, this one disconnect between the writer and the artist, essentially ruined the character for forever. But I remember Jim was telling me people were super upset about the marriage failing and about all that stuff, and they were writing, and this is back in the day. This is when you had to write in mail. And people were writing him death threats, you know what I mean? Being like, oh, we're going to kill you, how much they hate you. And dude, that's a lot of hate. Like I say, nowadays, people, send hate in comments and stuff because it's easy to do. It's right there. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you have to go buy a stamp to tell somebody you want to kill them, you care. You know what I mean? You hate them. But he said he was talking to Stan Lee about that and, asking Stan, he was just like, what do you do? He's like, this, people hate me right now. And then Stan was like, how are sales? And he was like, oh, it's never been better. He was like, it's going up every month. He said, that's all that matters, and I was like, well, I guess, man, but I told, I said to Jim, I was like, well, readers, for whatever reason, they don't think of it, but conflicts drive story. If there's no conflict going on, you don't have a story, And he said something that really, really resonated with me. And he was like, yeah, but they don't know that. That's not their job to know that. That's, that's the writer's job to know that. And I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? So I guess it's not a place to be condescending and be like, oh, hey guys, actually you don't understand storytelling and writing. You know what I mean? So, you just let people consume it for what it is. And then, if they care, obviously they get mad. So, whether it's power scaling, whether it's something that's happening in the story or whatever. So yeah, that's something that kind of resonated with me from a comic book legend, to maybe be like, okay, give these power scalers a break.
I've never gotten into it because I'm there for the story first. I feel like all three of us are, but it's just hard for me to care so much when it's a guy in a bat suit fighting, I don't know, Daredevil who's be blind. It's just it's all just
oh yeah,
make believe.
Yeah. Grant Morrison has one of my all-time favorite quotes about that. So Grant said that you can give a 9-year-old a movie with a crab singing underwater in a Jamaican accent, and a 9-year-old knows a crab doesn't do that. You know what I mean? But they don't ask any questions about it. But you give an adult a story about Batman, and they're asking who's putting air in the tires. You know what I mean? Or how's Batman running a company by day and then staying up all night and not sleeping? How is that possible? And it's nobody's putting fucking air in the tires of the Batmobile, man. You know what I mean? It's fictional. It's you don't for whatever reason, adults just can't, they try to apply these rules to fiction, these real life things to fiction. It's you don't have to do that, So, like you said, Superman flies around in his underwear and shoots lasers out of his fucking eyes. You know what I mean? It's not that real, man.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Speaking of pitting superheroes against each other, we have to finish what we started.
Yes, that's a great segue, by the way.
We finished half of it last time. The final four: Payton has Deadpool versus Nightwing. I have Ghost Rider versus Nova, and Mateo has Darkseid and Mr. Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
And this is not power scaling. This is just who we like more. But I think we'll start with. Also, I'll put it on screen on the in post on the podcast, so like
Nice.
viewers can either ride along with us and see what they would put. But the first one we've got for this next section of the bracket is also, if you want to see the other sections, we already have a episode with Payton.
Check it
if you
out.
want to
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
see our other parts. But we've got Black Widow versus Mystique to start out the next section.
Okay. Me personally, I'm going Mystique. I think Mystique's way cooler of a character, and I think that Scarlett Johansson is the only thing really about Black Widow that I enjoyed. You know what I mean? Was the MCU's adaptation. So yeah, I'm going Mystique.
All right.
I feel the exact same way.
Okay.
I don't even have anything to add to it. That's
me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even an X-Men guy, but I'm gonna go Mystique. She's just cooler.
She was butchered in the first films, I will say that. But comic-wise, she's so much cooler of a character, I think.
Yeah. Then we have Harley Quinn versus Spider-Man. There's no way
I would love to you know what I mean, just play devil's advocate here, but no, I mean that's obviously we're going Pete. How did you select these, by the way? Random matchup or?
Yeah, it was totally random.
Okay,
totally
cool,
random.
yeah.
There was no seeding.
Yeah, well, you can't really seed, favoritism.
Then
you know what I mean?
Then I'm just being biased
right,
with my
seed. Yeah. No, it's I think Spidey goes without saying.
It kind of reminds me of the thing where Superman says in Injustice 2, where when you choose Superman to fight Harley Quinn, he says, "Do you want to hear a joke?" And then Harley Quinn says, "What's the joke?" or whatever. And Superman says, "Harley Quinn versus Superman."
Yeah, this
Something
is
like Spider-Man.
In Injustice.
Yeah, in second Injustice, he says
That's funny.
Yeah, this is a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby situation.
And then we have Catwoman versus Aquaman.
Ooh,
this one's tougher than the rest, I feel like.
Yeah, this one's pretty hard, honestly.
I already got my pick.
Who are you going with?
I'm going Aquaman.
You going Aquaman?
Yeah.
Lord of the Seven Seas. Yeah, no, I mean, I just can't, I have no definitive Aquaman stories that really, really, make me want to pick Aquaman. You know what I mean? There's some really cool Catwoman stories that I've enjoyed, or, Batman stories that heavily involve Catwoman. But also, I don't know that I like her enough to, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, I'm torn.
Yeah.
Frankie, where
I've always liked Aquaman on a very surface level because I just like tropical ocean stuff. I scuba dive, so I'm going Aquaman. I like the ocean.
And I think that's going to be my ultimate driving factor is I like to swim. And I'm like you. It's it is a very that's a character that I think also falls into that camp is the Silver Surfer. People just love the Silver Surfer because it's one of the coolest fucking designs of all time.
Yeah,
and,
it's
cool. And they may not know anything else about the character. There's a lot of fans that I think fall into that category. But I'm going very surface level Aquaman. Just I like the ocean.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I think this is getting even tougher. Now we have Black Panther versus Winter Soldier.
I think I like Black Panther more.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Black Panther, baby.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, good. But I mean, to me, and I love Bucky. Obviously, Captain America is my favorite Marvel character. You know what I mean? And I love what Bucky means to Captain America, but also that's kind of he can't really exist without Cap. You know what I mean? T'Challa is his own thing with his own stories, and I yap way too much on these selections. I should just
I like hearing it.
Say what I need to say and move on.
That's good. That's the point. I'm more doing it just to discuss characters than to actually see who wins.
That's
fair. It's fun. Yeah.
This will be a fun one to discuss. Kang versus Thanos. You can take in, by the way, any source of media, whether it's MCU comics, any reason you like them. Because my favorite iteration of Thanos is the MCU's Thanos.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite. And I love comic Thanos, but
have you read
Josh
Thanos
Brolin
Wins?
Yes.
That's probably one of my favorite stories that revolve around Thanos. But I would pick Thanos just because, Kang to me, when they did, I was not excited about Kang coming to the MCU and being the big bad or whatever. I was just Kang's whole purpose is to get his ass kicked all across time. You know what I mean? The problem with Kang is that Kang keeps coming back. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause he's a time traveler, and you can just show up when the hell ever. You know, I mean, I was never like, oh, he's that intimidating. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I'd pick Thanos. Like, and yeah, I'm like you. The MCU like adaptation of Thanos is like one of the best things that they did.
Yeah. Cosmic Ghost Rider is my, like, with Thanos wins kind of go together, that's my other favorite iteration of Thanos.
Oh yeah, sick.
Yeah. Are we all going Thanos?
I'm going King of the Con.
Oh.
I'm going out of the box this one.
Yeah. I should keep my commentary until afterwards. No, but I mean, Kang is cool. I mean, I'm not acting like Kang is not like this nothing character, but have you read? It's by friends of the program, Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Their Kang miniseries.
Not yet, no.
Dude, read it. It's collected in a trade. I think it's just called Kang.
I think I know what you're talking about now.
That might have been
it
one.
It was like a semi-recent one, right?
It's within the last like 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
That might have been that one I read because leading up to Ant-Man, Mateo and I on the podcast did like a bunch of Kang related stuff.
Yeah.
I might have. I don't remember the title, but I might have read it.
Let me look real fast. I'm sure I can find it. Damn, that's not great for a podcast. Like, you know, like just sitting here scrolling. Be like, okay, hold on, guys. Like, just sit in dead air while I'm looking for this. Fuck me. Okay, anyway, I know it's by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, so that should narrow it down for you guys.
Yeah,
it's a 5-issue miniseries, super cool, but it gives like it takes all of Kang's history throughout comics and puts it into this 5-issue mini, and then like
yes,
okay, yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
This is what I read. I read this for the Mateo read like his like first appearances and stuff, and then I read this. It actually is really good.
Yeah.
It actually is really good.
It forms a perfect time loop, and it's like it's really well written. But so there's my continued yap sesh for a single pick. But
yeah, that is that made me like Kang a lot more than I previously did.
Me too.
I'm excited for Mateo's selection here because this is
I saw it. I was
two
like,
of his favorite characters, Doctor Doom and Shazam.
Yeah.
That is two of your favorite characters.
I'm gonna do a last for this one. I gotta sit and think.
This shit's so easy. Doom.
Yeah, it's Doctor Doom for me, and I like Shazam in concept. You know what I mean? Like, but maybe not so much in execution. But I love Doctor Doom. So
me too.
It's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I might have to go Dr. Doom. He has a lot more badass quotes too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's just so quotable.
Dude, he's quotable and cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and just like, I mean, he's now. If we're taking into effect all media, though, like he's the one character that they have never got right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I guess if we're counting all adaptations, I think EMH is that the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. Earth's Mightiest Heroes did him really well.
That's what I was gonna say. I think they might have done him pretty good, but like live action stuff, they have not been managed to do that at all. But I mean, comics wise though, Doom's the fucking best. You know, like
he is the best.
I mean, dude, that panel of him riding in on a grizzly bear is like one of my favorite.
Oh
things.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, it's so sick.
Good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
It's so good.
Dude, you gotta put that in post. I can send you that. Like I can send you the issue number. I think it's from the Chris Cantwell Doom series, Doctor Doom series. Which is a great series if you want to read more about Doctor Doom. You know what I mean? Gives you a lot of insight, dude. Like he goes to hell in that series and like bitch smacks Mephisto, and it's like, dude, it's just like the cool. You know what I mean? Like great insight into the character, and like that last line is like one of my favorite closing lines of like any, you know what I mean, like mini series and comics or whatever. So.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna read that. I love reading anything Doom. So, haven't checked that out. Then we have Thor versus Ultron.
I gotta go Thor.
Me too. Yeah. I know what Mateo's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Oh, do you really?
I really do like Ultron, but like, because I mean, I feel like the concept in and of itself is really cool, and just like how he was in like Annihilation Conquest was really cool. I remember seeing for the first time the original teaser trailer for Age of Ultron. I was like super. It's like probably one of the best trailers I've ever seen with like the Pinocchio monologue.
Yeah.
And I mean, the movie kind of didn't really do him all that justice, but he was still really cool, especially being voiced by James Spader.
That's what I was gonna say. They nailed the voice with James Spader. But I thought Ultron was pretty. For what the movie is, I mean, I thought he was done pretty well in the adaptation or whatever. And Ultron is like he falls in the same category as Kang for me. You know what I mean? Like it's like just an Avengers villain made to keep coming back 500 times. You know what I mean? Like he's somewhere in a flash drive until they need him again. You know what I mean? Like until they want the Avengers to have this big thing with them. So, but I mean, I gotta go Thor. But I do like Ultron as you know what I mean? Like as a character, love the dynamic with him and Hank Pym comic wise. You know, until they became like one person, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So I go with Thor.
And then we have Captain America and Blade.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Blade, dude. I mean, Cap's my guy. I mean, I've got my shield back here and everything. You know what I mean? Like, I love Cap. Steve is like my favorite Marvel character. I don't need to expand on that much, but. Are you both going Blade?
Me too.
I knew it.
Blade.
Yeah.
Even though the movie's never gonna come out within our lifespan.
That movie's never getting made, dude. I mean, it's such a disappointment because it's like fucking. I mean, Mahershala Ali, a sword and vampires. Like, I mean, why do you need to overcomplicate it? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They are having.
How is this struggling?
Yeah. How are you having? They scrapped the script like 3 times, and now they're on a different director. And like, dude, I'm looking for Mahershala Ali to just announce that he's leaving at any
I'm getting like
time.
the flashbacks because I remember when they had like writers and directors going in and out. I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, dude, and that's never a good sign. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, obviously, with how that turned out, like when a movie gets delayed 9 times, like you're not, I don't think you look at it and go, "That's going to be awesome." You know?
Yeah, that's true.
So we can finish out this side now that everyone has pictures. I don't have to try and remember what everyone picked. But I mean, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Well, Spidey beats Mystique for me for sure. But
yeah, I think
that's fair enough.
Spider-Man's got to win there.
Yeah.
Aquaman and Black Panther.
I think we all have that.
Yeah, I'm going Black Panther.
Me too.
I will as well. Yeah. T'Challa just is so much cooler to me, but
yeah, Atlantis versus Wakanda, both cool places. But
this next matchup super interesting though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I definitely know my answer though.
Yeah. Really?
Doom.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I've got Thanos and Doctor Doom, right? Like that's and that's
correct.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, God. Yeah, no, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Doom. I'm so much more influenced by the comics than I am any other thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I gotta go Doom.
Yeah.
But Thanos, just because of the MCU adaptation, like, makes me want to. Even though, like, I don't like get down with like his motivations as much as other people, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm going to go off on a tangent again. Like everybody that's like, like talking about how Thanos is like, ideas are noble in the MCU. Because, in the comics, he's just like, he loves death. He just wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the MCU, it's like, about, balance and all of that stuff. And it makes sense. And it's like, everybody's going to have more resources. And it's like, dude, you have these magic stones that can do anything. Just double the resources. You know what I mean? Like if that's the problem, like there's another answer that doesn't involve killing half the universe. But that's, so no, I am going Victor Von Doom. So again, there's your little.
I feel like I'm also more influenced by comics, but I feel like when I look at it, it's villains that usually where I'm more inspired by like other media than the heroes. Like that's like Thanos, Joker.
Yeah.
It's usually villains that I get more inspired by other media. But then we have either Thor or Ultron versus Cap or Blade.
Okay, so I've got Thor versus Cap, which is a really, really interesting matchup, I think.
Yeah.
And I love their like dynamic together and stuff. Like, with the Avengers and everything, they've had some really cool moments. I will still give it to Steve, but only barely. I really like Thor in the last couple of years, comic wise, because of like his resurgence with Donny Cates and stuff. So,
yeah. I'm not a big Thor Blade guy, but because of Jason Aaron's Thor, I'm gonna go with Thor.
That's fair.
Thor.
Yeah, sick. Have you read Cates' Thor?
I haven't got to Cates. God,
dude,
That's good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, no, you're in for a treat. I love every Like every arc, I was like, damn, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Donny Cates always kills it.
He does, yeah. I miss his stuff, dude.
Yeah. Spider-Man versus Black Panther, I think for all of us.
Yeah,
Spidey's actually getting some competition now, though.
Yeah, he is for sure. I mean, but also it's like, I mean, Spider-Man's like the biggest character in the world. You know what I mean? Like, and so yeah, it's tough, but just a tough matchup for T'Challa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. The thing is, like, I'll really have to see like who Spidey's going to go up against that could possibly knock him off the list. You know?
Yeah. Spider-Man for all of us. Then it's a Spider-Man sweep.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bunch of different combos here, but what have y'all got? Who y'all got winning to face Spidey?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me follow the bracket real quick. Okay. Who do I got? So I've got Cap out of that one, and Doom and Cap. Damn. Like, hold on. I'm on the wrong one, right?
No. I think you got Doom and Cap.
Okay, yeah, no, that's right. Shit. Because Steve is like my favorite, like Marvel character, but like Doom is also like my favorite Marvel villain. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
God, that's so tough. Ed Brubaker also like might have wrote both of their best works. Just you know what I mean? Throwing
Books
that
of
out there.
Doom.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Good.
And he did the whole Captain America run. That he invented the Winter Soldier and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So just a little fun fact while I'm thinking. I'm gonna go Steve. I gotta go Cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we both have the same thing? Doom and Thor.
I think you had Doom and Thor. I have Doom and Thor too. Yeah, Doom. Definitely Doom.
Doom.
And then do we all have Spidey versus Doom?
I've got Spidey versus
Cap.
Yeah.
Well, Spidey.
I'm going with Doom.
I respect
Dr.
that.
Doom.
Yeah, I can respect
Dr.
that for
Doom.
sure. I can respect
That's
it.
understandable.
Yeah, it's I gotta go Spotty. I'm like, sorry, Steve, but and like I said, I'm just trying to think of like all across media. Like, I mean, I love pretty much all of the Spider-Man movies. I love a lot of Spider-Man comics. They've not been the greatest in the past couple of years, but I mean,
yeah, Spidey's got a lot to pull from.
Games, love the games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to take Spotty. Sorry, Cap.
All right. Well, Spidey and Doom. I like both those picks for all of us in the final four. Then let me pull up the other one for me. Ooh, this first one's good. Okay. Daredevil versus Superman. Oh shoot.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Oh yeah, I guess. Damn.
Superman.
That is like a tough. Superman's like my favorite hero. Period. I have a type if you can't tell. But
the Boy Scout.
Yeah, but I love Daredevil, dude. Like, I mean, like Daredevil's like close to top 5 character for me. I say top 5 a lot. Like, I say top 5 character enough that there's more than 5 probably. So, I gotta go Superman. I mean, that's.
Did you see the leaks? The leaks?
Yeah, they look good, dude. I think the suit looks good.
Yeah.
Are you not a fan?
He's not a fan.
Hold on. I actually don't think it's bad. I just number one, it doesn't compare to Henry Cavill's suit in my opinion, and number two, I think it's got a little bit too much on the
lineage,
the shoulders here, the lines.
Yeah, no,
I like it.
I don't. So yeah, I mean, I can like it and like have critique still. Like I don't because like it's the new 52 suit with a different emblem.
Yeah.
I mean that's what they're going for. I don't like the new 52 suit really, but I like the color. You know what I mean? Like the colors are bright and vibrant enough. There's trunks. That's a plus for me. But I'm like you. The lines are too much. I don't like the collar. The collar looks better now than it did in that first. Did you notice it's different?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Collar looks better now. It's growing on me. There is one other small critique that I don't know if anybody else would really have, but the suit looks like it's made out of like thick rubber, and that is the only thing that kind of bugs me a little bit. And it's like the Guardian suits were like that in Guardians 3, so I don't know if it's like a James Gunn thing, but it's like a very bulky, like padded looking. You know what I mean? Like, and that's. But other than that, like I love I actually like the emblem. I like the color scheme and everything. So Yeah, no. Oh, and also the cape has the logo on it.
Yep.
And I was pretty
That's
pumped
got,
about
like-
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, that was always something that, like, as a Superman fan, I was like, I don't know that they'd pull that off. Like, I don't know if that would look goofy, but it looks
Right.
clean, really, I think. You know, I mean, it
Yeah.
looked a lot better than I had expected.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's no Cavill suit. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I said in our first ever episode that Superman was in my top 3 characters, but I'm picking Daredevil.
Oh, shit, okay.
I mean, like, looking back, Superman was like kind of me and my dad's character. We went to go see all the movies in the theaters. I have like a special love for Superman because of that. But like, if I really look at like myself, I love Daredevil more.
Right.
But I still love Superman. I don't want to take him off in the first round, but
Right.
I
Just a tough, tough pull, you know. I mean, I do think it's a tough matchup. I really do, because, like I said, I do love Daredevil. I mean, he's up there for me too. He's one of the first characters I fell in love with comic wise, because I remember I had this. I wish I had the comics from when I was a kid, but I remember this cover of him like walking across like a you know, like a clothesline or something. But it was like a, you know, tight wire or whatever, and I was just like, God, that looks so cool. And I can remember seeing like the logo, like Daredevil, and like the big, like the man without fear underneath it. And I was just like, this guy's so badass. You know what I mean? Like, but
oh, his comics are so good. It's so good.
All of his comics are so good, and it makes no sense that, like, you know what I mean? Most characters, like, you'll get into a run and it's like, that was, you know, kind of shitty, kind of sloppy, you know what I mean? Like, you know, then you get an incredible writer and it's like, holy shit, this is the best run I've ever read. Daredevil out of Marvel might be the most consistently good run. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who's on the team, like on the book, it seems like it's just fantastic, you know?
Always, yeah. It's banger after banger. Yeah. 2 villains, Magneto versus Brainiac.
No brainer for me. Magneto.
I don't have I'm not like big on either of them.
Yeah.
But I'll go Magneto.
Yeah.
He's better.
Yeah. We get Ian McKellen.
I mean, Magneto's got one of the best villain origin stories. So just for that, I'll give it to Magneto.
Yeah, no, I love Magneto, especially X-Men '97. Like, I thought they did him a lot of justice.
He was great. Yeah, he was
so
good.
I was really pumped on that. But and he's also had like, back to quotes and stuff. Like, you know, like with Doom earlier, I was like, he just had some of the most like iconic quotable moments. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely one of the most iconic villains. Punisher and Green Goblin. That's an odd one.
That is really odd.
That is an odd one.
And I don't even know like which way I'm leaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how do you pick between those two characters? I think I'll go Punisher. I think kind of like Joker, Green Goblin's just kind of worn off on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Green Goblin from the first Raimi movie. Why am I blanking on the actor's name?
Yeah.
Is my favorite Green Goblin, like, by far. But besides that, I'm not huge on Green Goblin, so I'll go Punisher.
Yeah, I think comic-wise, Norman's best days are way behind him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's kind of like, you know, historically, you can respect what he's done. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go Punisher too. I think that, you know, like I said, I haven't read a lot of modern stuff that really makes me like love the character. And yeah, Willem Dafoe was great, but also like John Berthol's Punisher, like the show was really good too. So yeah, I'm gonna go Punisher.
Yeah, Mateo.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweep.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor versus Storm. Another odd one.
It's really odd.
I might go Luthor because I know a little bit more Luthor than Storm. So
that's why I'm going Luthor. I'm not an X-Men guy. Storm is, I think, one of the coolest X-Men. But Luthor is just an iconic villain.
He is a very, very iconic villain, and I am a huge Superman fan, but I also love Storm. You know what I mean? Like, Storm's very, like, a character I hold near and dear to my heart, like, because of the X-Men and stuff. I'm going to go Storm, actually.
Fair?
Yeah. I think she, my only thing I know about Storm is I liked playing as her in video games. That I never, I don't know too much about her.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, she's like, well, I think really, and like, this is like just something that I think is a tough task, like for most fans, like even like unless you read the Claremont era, you know what I mean, like go through all of that and like watch the X-Men develop over years. I don't think you would have the same appreciation for her. You know what I mean? Because she's such a cool, like, predominant character in that, and like in the history of the X-Men in general. And yeah, so like without that, with if you're removed from that, then like even like, and I liked Storm. I'm like you. I think I liked Storm in concept, and I was just like, she's got the coolest powers, you know what I mean? But like, I hadn't really fell in love with the character the same way I did when I went through and read all of like Claremont. You know what I mean? Like, because then that gave me a new appreciation for it.
Yeah, I can see that. Then we've had a couple of these. I think. Oh yeah, there's another one soon, but a non-MCU or not MCU,
Oh
a
yeah,
non-Marvel
I
DC
forgot we were
character.
doing like independent stuff in here too.
Shredder and Doctor Strange. I'm going Shredder. Shredder's just too cool.
Shredder's
He's too
cool as hell, yeah. Shredder is cool as hell. I do like Doctor Strange a lot though.
Jason Aaron's run on Doctor Strange is really good.
That is good.
Yeah, it's good. Donnie Cates on Doctor Strange was also really good.
Mm-hmm.
McKay's current Strange has been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
I like him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Strange. Also,
okay.
I like Multiverse of Madness more than a lot of people. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. And like, I'm not saying it's like a great movie. Go ahead, Mateo.
Right.
I'm cutting you off.
Let's get nowhere. Continue.
But I will say, like, so the reason I defend Multiverse of Madness is because that was the first time that I was like, that is what magic should look like from Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Like the notes coming off the paper and fighting with them, and like the big giant hands grabbing like Shumagurath and all of that stuff. And I was like, that's magic. It's like not just shields and whips. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, so that really like for the first time brought to life what I thought Strange's magic should do. Outside of that, I mean, I'm not acting like it's a fantastic movie, but there was a lot of elements that I enjoyed probably more than other people.
His cape at the end was really cool. Of like the souls. Yeah,
that was sick. That was really sick. Yeah. So there's a lot of like really, which that's Sam Raimi, but yeah, that for the first time with any magic in the MCU, I was like, this looks really, really good, and like what I think it should.
Yeah, Mateo.
Doctor Strange. I got good Doctor Strange.
Yeah, there we go.
I love Doctor Strange.
Strange is cool.
Shredder's cool as well. I mean, from the TMNT series that we read, the only things that were cool about the series was the Shredder. Yeah. But Doctor Strange, he's really, really cool. So I think it was Strange.
That's a cool defense of Multiverse of Madness that I've never heard before. I like that. I like that point because I'm not a big fan of the movie, but that's a really good point.
I could talk about that movie honestly extensively. I've thought about that movie a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know why, but like, it's like because I think it had so much potential, and like I can pretty well identify where they went wrong on a lot of things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but yeah, no, I'm like you. I think that, I think that's the best part of the movie.
I'm a defender of the Wanda killing the Illuminati scene. I have almost no problems with it. I think like him like telling her the whisper thing, I don't think is that bad because like it's him just trying to like, push her back like, hey, like he can do this. Yeah. And then I mean, him screaming, he's trained himself. I love Black Bolt, but at the same time, if my mouth disappeared, I'd probably scream. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm like you. I think there's enough ways to make it work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's like the most damning thing ever. And that goes back to the power scaler thing. That's like the fight scenes like don't really mean a whole lot to me. Like the one, I guess the biggest problem of all of that is just Captain Marvel getting crushed by a statue. Like, and you know what I mean? Like that's the one thing. It's like with all that Wanda can do, why did you just have her do like, you know what I mean? Like have one turn to her, have her like turn her into a bunch of butterflies or some shit. You know what I mean? Like you could do 1,000 different things with Wanda, and you just like crushed her when she's like containing the power of a star.
And she literally turned Mr. Fantastic into a bunch of like noodles. So she could have done something similar with Captain Marvel. But I do agree. I haven't seen the movie since it came out. After like a little bit after watching it for the first time, I kind of felt that a lot of people didn't like it because a lot of people were expecting it to be the multiverse movie that kind of like starts like amping things up like the different multiverses, and we didn't really get that. So I feel like that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people didn't like it. And there's also like a lot of studio interference with like what Sam Raimi wanted to do compared to what they allowed him to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like that really hindered the movie to what it could be, but there are elements in the movie that I did really like, and a lot of critiques that people have. I kind of see both sides for. So like what Frankie said about the careful Wanda, Blackwell can destroy you with a whisper, and like him screaming. I mean, like if like it's like exactly what you said. If I lost my mouth, instinctively I would make a noise. So,
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, too, like, so my thing with it is like, I think there's no clear like A plot and B plot, right? Like a lot of movies have those, and this one, it all runs into the same like sequential timing, if that makes sense. Like when you go from scene to scene, and like it doesn't. So I think that makes it feel a little more rushed than what it was. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't feel like there's as much happening because, like you said, you didn't like draw that clear line in between these two plot points. So that's a part of it. I think that like you're saying, there is the stuff with like, just nonsensical, like, moments. And then there's also like, they showed all the multiverse-ness of it in trailers and TV spots. And it's like, all of that could have been really, really cool and exciting had we went into it not knowing. And we might have been like, but we're like, you see all that and you're like, oh, well, they're going to do way more then. Because if they're showing us that, then there must be all kinds of multiverse stuff to it. And there just wasn't, So, yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pitfalls in it.
Yeah, that was I like that tangent. That was a fun tangent. I haven't talked about that movie in a while. All right, next, 2 DC characters, Green Arrow, Bane. Oh, this one's a tough one for me.
That is a little bit of a tough one.
I'm going to go with Bane.
Oh, I think I am too. I don't actually love the first 2 seasons of Arrow. I really want to read more Green Arrow. So my answer might eventually be Green Arrow, but for now I'm gonna go Bane.
I'm gonna go Bane as well. And I like comic Bane, but there's also just like people ignore the cultural impact that the Dark Knight like Rises had with Bane. You know what I mean? Like every kid I knew, and like I was I was like the only superhero nerd. You know what I mean? Like there was not like kids like didn't want to read comics or whatever, but everyone I knew was just quoting Bane's monologues 24/7 after that movie came out. So yeah, no, I'm going Bane.
Yeah,
I love The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I do too.
So then we have. I remember when I was putting Invincible in, I was. I mean, I'm sure you've heard like the comparisons, but I was thinking about putting All-Star in here, but then I was like, but then I can't like pick somebody over All-Star.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you better not anyway. No, funny enough. So this matchup. Those are the 2 most, like, the characters that I've heard the most when like, promoting All-Star. With people being Booster. Like, oh, he looks like Invincible. Oh, he looks like Booster Gold. You know what I mean? Those are 2. And I get it, like, design-wise, like, how, like, they could see that. Sorry, I put it back in the bag and board. But but yeah, no, I mean, I can see where people are coming from. But also, like, I never was like, let me get him looking like Booster Gold. You know what I mean? That's a character that I have not. I've read one Booster Gold comic, I think, in my entire life. Like one that is just Booster Gold, and it was a Hanna-Barbera crossover with Booster Gold and the Flintstones. So that's all. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I've got on him. So I'm clearly picking Invincible. By the way, that's where all of this is to say. But
yeah, I've always kind of seen the comparisons to Invincible, but I see that as a huge positive because Invincible is.
It's good. That's really good. I mean, an awesome character too. Good character design. So,
yeah, I'm definitely going Invincible. I've read 0 Booster Gold.
Oh, okay.
I think the only Booster Gold that I've read was from his little segments in the 52 series.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's about it. But I'm going with Invincible as well.
Okay. Then at the bottom of this bracket, we have Loki versus Deathstroke. Deathstroke was my one biased pick in here. I kind of threw him in. I love Deathstroke. He's like the epitome of cool. So I'm going Deathstroke.
Yeah,
he's just the coolest.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I'm going Loki. Like I did not think that y'all were going Deathstroke on that one. But yeah, I like Loki a lot more. I've never really like the most that I think I've enjoyed Deathstroke, honestly. Maybe y'all need to put me on to some like better Deathstroke stuff, but was like in the Teen Titans cartoon. You know what I mean? Like the '03 one. I was like, man, he's like, but also it's like, why are you an old man beefing with these children all the time? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Deathstroke is very surface level for me. I think it's the same with Boba Fett when I was a kid.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get that.
Just cool.
It's like what I was going with.
He looks cool.
Yeah. That's what I was saying with like the Silver Surfer earlier. You know what I mean? Like growing up, there's kids that just saw a design and was just like, I fucking love that guy. You know, Dude, that's like Iceman. You know what I mean? Like that's people like love Iceman, and the same thing. It's based off a very surface level analysis. If you read comics, there's not a lot that like makes you love Bobby Drake as a character. You know what I mean? So like that's what I thought it was so funny when like they like he came out as gay or whatever, and like. People are really, really mad about it. And I was like, why? Like, if you were reading him for the last, like, 40 years, you probably picked up on some of that. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely didn't come from nowhere like people try to make it seem. But yeah, and that's also, like I said, the only reason they care is because they never actually read the comics. They just think he looks cool and his powers are cool. But, no, Deathstroke does have a sick-ass desigin.
Yeah. He's cool. All right. Now
Slade Wilson also might be the most badass name ever. You know what I mean? Like,
It's an awesome name. Awesome character. But yeah, we've got some differing picks here. I've got Daredevil beating Magneto by 1 million. What do y'all have?
I got Superman.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I've got Superman against Magneto, which is tough because I really love Magneto, but also like I love Superman way more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so. I am going Superman, but I hate to see Magneto. It's just a tough draw for Magneto. You know what I mean? Like Magneto on the other side of the board maybe could have like made a Final Four run. You know what I mean? Like,
there are characters that have Black Panther could have been in the Final Four. For me
So I hate to see him get knocked out this early, but like I said, just tough draw.
I'm assuming Mateo Superman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh yeah.
Then I have Punisher versus Lex Luthor. I'm definitely going Punisher.
I'm going Luthor.
Okay, I've got Punisher versus Storm, and I'm pushing Storm through. So
okay.
I like Storm infinitely more than
That's fair. I have Shredder versus Bane. That's actually pretty badass.
Yeah, I know, right? You could switch that to a death battle real fast. You know, like
that's true.
But the power scalers would love that one. Yeah. I'm going Shredder personally, just off the cool factor.
Yeah. Same thing. Sometimes, listen, a sick ass design can take a character a long way.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
Yeah.
I think y'all both have Strange in either Bane or Green Arrow.
I have.
Yeah, it's Strange and Bane.
Me too. Yeah. So that's who I've got. I think. Go ahead.
I think I'm going Strange. It's that one's tough.
I've liked more Strange comics than I have Bane comics.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm basing that off of. By a fairly wide margin, too, because again, don't forget, the Dark Knight Rises Bane did a lot for. I think I'm not saying it's the perfect character adaptation, but just as far as being iconic, people fucking loved him, and but I am going to go Strange.
This next one is impossible for me. Invincible versus Deathstroke. I've loved Deathstroke. The child me picks Deathstroke because growing up I was just that's the coolest character ever. But Invincible, Mark Grayson, he's just too good of a character. It's too good of a comic series. I physically cannot pick Deathstroke over Invincible.
I'm going Invincible I've got Invincible and Loki, and it's so easily Invincible for me,
Yeah.
Invincible.
Yeah. The cool factor could only take him so far.
Yeah.
And then I have, this is a classic. I've got Daredevil versus Punisher.
Ooh.
And I'm definitely going Daredevil.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
I like it. I've got Superman versus Storm. Ooh. That's a good matchup. I mean, I'm going Superman. I love Clark. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
but also like Storm. You know, I mean, I like Storm enough that that's a really cool, you know what I mean, combination. And like, I think she had a good run. You know, I mean, I think that's a good, good place in the tournament to make it to. So
Agreed. It's not always about getting to the finish in March
Right,
Madness.
yeah.
You know, those Cinderella runs. What do you have, Mateo?
I got a classic. A Superman versus Luthor.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Superman.
Yeah.
Obviously
yeah,
Superman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
he has to prevail.
Yeah.
Shredder versus Invincible for me. Definitely Invincible.
All right. I got Strange and Invincible. I'm going Strange.
Oh wow.
Strange.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, I'm going Strange.
Damn, I heard that. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, at least that makes it interesting, though. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely going
Yeah.
Invincible. You know what I mean? Like, so that adds some variety in here.
It does.
Yeah, so that's what, but I've got like Superman and Invincible is like,
That's a cool
that is a
matchup.
sick matchup. Damn.
I've got Daredevil and Invincible, and as much as I'd like to pick Invincible, I have to go with Matt. Have to.
Yeah, I get that. And that's also like, I don't know, like Invincible, like legitimately, Invincible might be my favorite complete run.
It's mine. Yeah,
on
it's
anything.
mine.
And then, but there's just so much Superman stuff that I've loved. It's like been such a huge
Yeah.
part of my life for so long. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Superman.
I got Superman and Doctor Strange. Superman,
Okay,
baby.
yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, sick.
It had to end at some point.
Great run from Strange, though.
The final four.
Oh, geez.
Here we are.
All right.
Okay, for me, I guess we'll all say ours because I don't remember y'all's. Ghost Rider, Nova, and then Spider-Man and Daredevil. What are y'all's final four?
My final four is Darkseid, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Doom, and Superman.
Okay.
Okay.
Good grief. I'm an aneurysm.
I like how varied our final fours are. This is
Yeah,
cool.
so I've got Spider-Man and Superman on one side. And like that's yeah, I mean that's tough. But then I don't remember who I had on the other two from the others.
I can grab it for you.
Care.
You have Deadpool and Nightwing.
Oh shit, yeah, this makes sense. Those are like four of my favorite characters. So like I mean that lends itself to making it to the final four. So, God, yeah. So how are we? It's Deadpool against Nightwing, right?
Deadpool against Nightwing. Yeah, the last two from the other episode fight each other versus. I wish I was like struggling more with my decisions. I know like exactly my decisions. It's not even close. Ghost Rider beats Nova, Spider-Man beats Daredevil, and then in the championship, Spider-Man beats Ghost Rider. That's
so Spider-Man.
I mean, it's basic, but I can't help it. He's my
I get
he's my favorite all-time character.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what you got to stay. I mean that's the point of all this, right? Is like how much we like them. You know what I mean? So
got to.
Mateo, who's your final four again?
Darkseid, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Doom, and Superman. I'm struggling.
Dude, that's interesting that you've got like the pairings. You know what I mean? It's like Superman and Darkseid, and is it Doom?
Fantastic.
Yeah, Doom and Reed.
Doom and oh my god, yeah! I just realized
that's
cool.
sick. God. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Deadpool over Nightwing.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Nightwing had a great run, by the way. Like we gotta point out that that's a Cinderella story. If you include her one. And I'm gonna take Superman over Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's that's like an interesting championship. I think Superman versus Deadpool.
Yeah,
it's like the
two opposite.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean,
for me personally, and they're both like in my favorite characters. And it's like the angel and the devil on my shoulders. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna need a second. You know, like
okay.
All right. Oh man, Jesus. So between Darkseid and Mr. Fantastic. Oh God. And just to think, it only gets worse from here.
Yeah.
After this choice,
then you have a tougher choice.
Oh my god. Wait, yeah, I'm gonna go with Dark Side.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll go with Dark Side. I mean, I don't know. I would go with the original Jack Kirby run, the Orion run by Walt Simonson. That's just for me.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Then I have, what was it? Doom and Superman.
That'd be a cool fight, like an actual fight.
Sick. You know, Doom also has magic. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
I'm trying to not have like the recent Superman bias I've been having lately. with My Adventures of Superman, with like
that's been good.
The photos. I'm like on a Superman high right now. So, oh good lord, I'm gonna go with Doom.
Oh shit! Okay,
I'm going with Doom.
2 villains in the championship.
Okay,
Darkseid versus Doom.
I feel like I would clearly know which one you would pick here. I feel like I know. I would be shocked if you picked Doom. I feel like you're definitely going Darkseid. That's my prediction.
It's. Did you already have yours ready? Because you can go ahead if you like. I need a second to think.
I am gonna go Superman as my champion. I just can't I can't shake that archetype that I love, and he is the founder of it. You know what I mean? Like, love Deadpool for a lot of reasons. But like I said, I am a sucker for the Boy Scout in blue. So that is who I'm going with.
All right. Spider-Man and Superman, and then
if we had Batman, this would just be the most stereotypical, what I mean, character tournament that you could guess.
Yeah, the top 3.
But...
Shit, I might have to go with Dr. Doom.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by that.
Because at this point, I'm just pulling from everything. I'm pulling from comics, shows, movies, video games. I'm trying to pull from everything, and I think it's like with the added notion of with the Darkseid not being all that present as of recently.
Yeah,
I think he was in. I forget what it's called. It was in a run recently. It was with the Justice League Incarnate, or it was called.
He was in World's Finest here recently.
He was.
Oh, he was. Yeah. So
I
gotta catch up.
3 issues, I think, something like that. I mean, obviously, that's not a huge event threat or anything like that, but that was cool. Just what I mean, seeing him. But
I'm going with Doom just because.
Yeah, I get it. Oh yeah,
I'm going with Doom.
I would pick Doom too. You know what I mean? But
I would pick Doom too.
Yeah. If Orion was in the bracket, it was clean sweep.
I should have.
Clean sweep.
Damn.
That would have been a clean sweep.
I heard that.
Yeah. Mateo's original nickname was Orion Scott Comics.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then Scott-free Mr. Miracle.
Yeah. No, I love.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about Tom King's Mr. Miracle?
That's where I started liking the New Gods and all that stuff. That was my jumping on point.
Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That was my jumping on point. Since then, I was like, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
it definitely moved Scott up in my eyes as a character that I really, you know what I mean, just really appreciated. So yeah, no, that was cool. And Barda too.
Oh yeah, I love Big Barda.
Yeah. Well, we did it.
That was it.
We started it in March, and it's
3 months in the making.
Yeah. Well worth it though. But, I think it's an entertaining bracket.
Definitely well worth it. Well, yeah. That about does it. I feel like I'm excited to.
That was cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
To get All-Star. Awesome. If he would have been in the bracket, he would have been everyone's champion.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But I'm pumped to get it. In my hands.
No, I'm excited to get it out to you all. That's the thing now. Is and it's been feeling like a waiting game for so long, and now it's that I know it's in the mail for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Now it's waiting to hear back. I can't imagine what people used to do when they had to communicate through letters and shit. That had to be rough. But no, I'm excited to get it to you all. I'm excited if anybody listening, obviously, if you want to go check it out. It's available in my TikTok shop and also on comicbookdirect.com. So either way you want to get it, just go, to either of them. Look up the Astounding All-Star. You should. But you can Google it too. That also was cool. So you can just Google the Astounding All-Star and it pops up. So that's like, another thing that was just like feels weird, but also like, is awesome. So yeah, I would appreciate anybody that wants to check it out, or ask questions about it because I love talking about it on my TikTok too. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again for coming on again.
Thank you all so much for having me. Yeah, no, this has been a blast. I always enjoy talking to you guys. So
yeah. For
issue
issue 2,
I can be the first 3-time reoccurring.
Oh
yeah, we'll figure it out some point down the road. But no, again, seriously, thank you all so much.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been great. You have anything else you want to give a little shout out to?
Nah, that should be it, man. Obviously, if you want to follow me, go follow me on TikTok. Two-turn Tony Stark. That's my handle everywhere. I'm on all social medias and stuff. But definitely the book is the thing I want to push the most to people right now. But
go buy it.
Yeah,
Everyone go
please,
buy it.
Yeah, that would mean it would mean a lot to me. Like I said, and I think people are going to enjoy it. I do think it's it is a little more of a simple, basic like 3-act structure for a superhero in the in the first issue, but there's a lot of twists and turns coming in the following issues. You know what I mean? That I want to kind of like big cliffhanger at the end too. I want to So,
okay.
But yeah, so I guess that's what I want to leave the people with. But
yeah. It's fun, just going into any indie project, like, because obviously nothing about it going in. Like, I think that's one reason people love, like, Invincible and just indie things in general. Like, I'm not going in knowing who these characters are, so that's one thing I'm really excited about for checking it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, guys.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for a second time. Most definitely will not be the last time. Yeah. If you guys haven't already, make sure to check out our previous episode with Two-Tone Tony Stark all the way back in March. Make sure to check that out. Also check out our other episodes that we uploaded since then. Make sure to follow us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and our YouTube at ComicsRTW. Make sure to check us out there for like updates and all that stuff. I'm on all of those social medias, so make sure to check us out there, and make sure to tune in to the next episode. And thank you again for joining us for the second time. It's been great. It's a blast. Very interesting discussions within the brackets. Very, very, very good time.
No, thank you all.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.